Oh, oh.
Welcome to another Ramble Radio, motherfucker.
Also,
Yeah.
video.
Look at that. Look at
Right
that.
there. Right
And
in
you
your
think
face.
it's just you and I, Eddie?
Sure.
Well, yeah, it's not a great day.
I don't know.
It's the jury selection began.
Yeah.
Truth Social keeps plummeting.
It was an odd call for Cody to tell him to take a nap in the middle of the trial.
That was tough.
That was a
mean,
weird call. I know
look,
Cody's desperate. And he's just throwing spaghetti at the wall right now.
Is he
but-
falling apart? Is he falling? I think it's time.
A rare misstep by Cody Villafana on the take a nap during your jury selection.
Here's what else. Giuliani got denied trying to throw out the money he owes to Georgia.
Sure.
You know what, Eddie? There's something, and I feel bad because the man's not here to defend himself. Okay?
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say something, and I can't believe I'm about to say this about Alt Right Cody, Eddie. And
What?
look, has the game passed him by?
Oh,
I mean, are we looking at has the game passed him by?
Look, the last, I would say 8 years, he's been going pedal to the metal, 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
It would burn anybody out,
Yes.
right? It would burn that type of run that he's had. I mean, it's a Belichick type run.
It really is
in the political world. I would imagine.
I mean, it's
it would
insane.
burn anyone out, and maybe if the game hasn't passed him by, maybe it's a little case of burnout. Maybe he needs to take a year off and then get back into it. Just sort of step back, reassess.
Maybe step in the booth for a little bit.
Spend a season in the booth. I'm sure Newsmax needs a contributor. He go to Newsmax. Just spend a year at Newsmax.
With his pedigree up until now, there's no waiting in line.
Just be a
for him
talking
at
head on Newsmax for a year.
They hire him in a second, don't you think?
Oh,
Newsmax,
absolutely.
Like they take him away from us. There'll be no more good willow hunting. I'll tell you that. It's over. So I don't know. It's just I really think the game may have passed Alt Right Cody.
Well,
it's not looking good.
I won't be sad because that means more Cody here.
That's true.
That's true.
I'll
That'd
be
be more
sad
Cody
for
here.
him, but not sad for the ramble.
Right. Not sad for the but I know where his heart lies in the alt right, and I know that's going to break him.
Oh.
He won't be the same if he can't. He can't do his alt right stuff. That's his passion. That's his passion.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's tough to not, spew anti-vax and election denial, and it's gonna be tough to not to.
Oh man!
If you can't have that.
Is there anything sadder than these fucking people showing up at New York with like their Trump outfits on and like that's just...
wearing a flag as a cape? Like, have you looked? Like, look, did they catch a glimpse of themselves, like a reflection in a window, and just like, is there a moment of reflection going, what have I become?
The Trumpers are the least self-aware people on the planet. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't wear Dallas Cowboy shit as much as they wear Trump shit. Like I don't even come like maybe 2 Sundays a year during the season I'll wear if the Cowboys win a playoff game, I'll wear my cowboy hoodie for the next game. You know what I mean?
I'm a huge DC sports fan.
Yes.
And I would say I wear something DC sports related twice a week, maybe 3 times. It's a hat. I'll throw a hat on, but like a shirt, or 2-3 times a week. These guys, it's their Charlie Brown outfit. That's all they have.
It's just it. It's so fucking.
And like you see the group mangled around in their flags and their stuff. Like, would you be afraid of any of them if the Civil War broke out?
No. It's like, well, we know who's losing. We know who's losing the Civil War.
It's just sad that you're wrapped up in anyone like that.
And then the funniest part is they have the balls to be like, "Oh, you just make your whole identity hating Trump."
No, I hate you.
What if
Trump wouldn't be anybody without you guys? If you guys didn't love him,
your identity is the bigger question.
If you guys didn't love him, he wouldn't be anything. So you're the people that I hate.
It's fucking sad as shit watching these motherfuckers.
You're the people to blame because you support this fuckwad. If my ire goes anywhere, it goes to you fucks.
It absolutely.
Because at this point, if you haven't seen through his bullshit, then you're the person I don't like, not him.
Yes.
I know who he is.
Yes.
He's harmless if you don't give him power.
It's just like every morning. It's like if the finger poke of doom happened every morning in their living room. They just take the most egregious dive for this guy every fucking.
Just boonk. And then drop.
And then drop. That was. Whew. Oh,
sad.
Boy. It's
so sad.
Very sad. It's a
very
sad thing.
sad.
It's very sad. Oh, fuck. Is that like, what do you do though if that's like your aunt or something? You know what I mean? If you just look at the
I got family members, but
God,
they're not.
Aunt
They don't.
Susie.
They don't.
No,
play,
but what if they are?
They don't do the
dressed up like
cosplay
that? How
part
do
of
you
it.
talk to them? You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's say you see your fucking aunt dressed like that, and then you got to see her at Thanksgiving. Like, what do you like? Are you like? Wait,
I think at this point you have to be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
At
what
this
the
point.
fuck
Like,
is wrong with you?
4, 5, 8 years ago, you're like, okay, all right, we'll just. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just avoid this.
Right,
But now at
yeah.
this point, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
What's the matter with you?
Do you not
What
have
is
a
the
life?
matter?
Do you not have an identity anymore outside of this fucking ass clown?
Is it? It's like, and you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever see that flick Lone Star, the John Sayles movie?
No, I don't think I did.
There is, and at first I thought, and here I go. Here I am being Johnny Hypocrite because I just ridiculed him for 5 minutes. But Frances McDormand has, I think, one of the best cameos in movie history in this movie. And and when I first saw it, I thought it was comedy. Like, I thought her character was comic relief. And then I see it again, and so she's just this woman who, I forgot her relationship to Chris Cooper's kid, but she is decked out head to toe in Dallas Cowboy shit. It takes place in Texas. And like her whole house is like Dallas shit. And then you realize, wait, this isn't funny. Like, this is a wounded human.
Right.
Who is just putting everything into this to try to escape whatever harmed them. You know what I mean? Whatever sucked their belief in life out of them. They're just they go into this.
It's the only thing tethering them to life is their belief in the Cowboys.
Right, in the and so it's like, yeah, I make fun of them, but it's also, God, it is sad. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, this is like, oh God, it's just, it's you see the fucking T-shirts and the fucking just the memorabilia 20, like, because I saw a woman, I was getting pizza here a couple of weeks ago, and I saw a woman just tearing down. Yeah, thumbs up to pizza. I saw a woman tearing down her MAGA merch stand that was just on a street corner here in Orange County, and she just. Part of me wanted to be like, man, fuck this motherfucker, you know? But like, it was like literally the end of the day, and they were breaking the table down,
right.
And then but I just saw a sad and lonely person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was nobody with her. She's just doing it all by herself. And it was just, I mean, Jesus Christ,
but like this,
you go to a Magic the Gathering game at a fucking card shop. There's 40 motherfuckers there. You know what I mean? Like, you have people who can help you break your shit down and roll up your little fucking Magic the Gathering mat, and like, and that you always kind of looked at is that's like societal's rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the guys who fucking play Warhammer and shit, like, oh, they're not.
Yeah, but the guys playing Warhammer and Magic the Gathering,
they're actually happy.
They're actually doing something with someone else, and
there's
making
no
a connection
rage behind it. There's no, like, it's just more like, oh, this is fun.
But
like,
the thing is, even if Orange McFuttbutt wins the election and he becomes president again, these people are still just as sad and lonely. They're not going to be any better.
It's not. What happened? That's why, because they're not treating politics as something that could help anybody. They're looking at it like a team. Like that's why, that's the thing. I loved watching the Cowboys win Super Bowls. It didn't make my life any better. No. It was just a fun thing that I was still poor. You know what I mean? Like it's still, you know what I love seeing the Mavericks win one. I love seeing the Stars. Love seeing the Rangers do it last year. It didn't help.
It doesn't make your life better.
No,
it doesn't help your life.
Okay, yeah, that was fun. Good for them. But that's it. It's like
especially the older you get, you realize that. Like when you're a kid, you're like you live and die with your football team.
Absolutely,
because by the time you're in your 30s or 40s, you're like, oh, this has no impact on my day-to-day life. It's
fun, but it doesn't fucking matter. It's fun. But a buddy of mine was just lamenting that the Texas Rangers are 8-8 so far this year. I'm like, I really don't give a shit. They just won the World fucking Series.
What, you want to win the World Series every year? How's that going to happen? That's not going to happen.
That just bought me 10 years of being okay with whatever happens to them. And you know what I mean? Especially at you being a sports fan, Eddie. Would you have, and I'm not, this is not to talk shit or be like, oh, fuck you, suck it. This is just honestly, as a sports fan, was there ever a time when you thought, oh, watch out for the Texas Rangers. Here they come, Major League Baseball. They've always sucked. The Dallas Mavericks always sucked. When they won one, I was like, I'm like, oh my God. You remember the 90s when the Dallas Mavericks were the laughing stock of the NBA.
Awful.
Remember them? How bad the Mavs were? It was like
they were awful,
dude. As a high schooler, thank fucking God I had the Cowboys.
Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings. It was just
and the Clippers.
And the Clippers. Clippers have always been.
Yeah, and who were the Minnesota Timberwolves back then? Were before Garnett.
And my Washington Bullets.
The Bullets and the Bullets were. Remember, Jordan said they were the team of the future.
Yeah,
and it fell apart. And it's like, and so you get it when they win one. It's like, oh, okay, well, they've reached a peak. I don't need to be a fucking weirdo about this. I don't need to be upset. Oh, I think we lost Eddie. We're going to give this a second, see if we get Eddie back. Or are we even going to know that this even happened? Are we going to? Oh, there he is. There he is. There, I see you.
Oh, there
he is.
There.
Hey, I kept the ship rolling. I think we can switch our positions.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
I switched. I put it back.
You put it back. So, but
I don't know what happened.
It was weird. But like I was saying, thank God as a sports fan, I had the Cowboys in the 90s because the Mavericks were garbage. The Rangers were garbage, right? We had just gotten the Stars and they weren't, I mean, they got good at the end. They got really good at the end of the 90s. But if it weren't for the Cowboys, I honestly don't. I probably would have not been that big of a sports fan because
it's completely dropped out of sports.
They all sucked.
All my teams sucked.
It was and in the 80s it was kind of the opposite. The late 80s, the Cowboys were terrible, but the Mavericks were kind of okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was it. The Super Bowl, growing up with the first memories I have of the Cowboys were Danny White blowing it when it mattered, right? And it wasn't even him; it was a team. It wasn't just Danny White. That's kind of an unfair thing. Obviously, it was just the Danny White led teams not being able to get over the hump.
Then, you had the Niners at that time, and Washington and the Giants. Those were the teams.
So good. And the thing and that's another thing. To take that what I said and to defend Danny White. How did they look the second he was gone? You know what I mean? The minute they lost Danny White,
they were the worst team in the league.
The Cowboys were dreadful when they lost Danny White. Yeah, it was, just back to the whole thing. It's like I learned out of high school not to pin my happiness on something
you have no control over.
It's fun to root for them. it's fun to watch them win, but
to know they don't love you back or care about you back is even worse.
They don't give a fuck. It's
the Cowboys are going to play their season regardless of you cheering for them or not.
It
doesn't matter.
Care less. They love to have the fans cheer, all that. But that's, I mean, it's very like, yeah, it was. I remember, but like. I think in life we all need the curtain pulled back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like finding out there was no Santa. My buddy Daniel pieced that together first day back from winter break, like in second or first grade.
Yeah.
And because I think he accidentally saw his parents putting shit under the tree.
Yeah.
And he told me, and I didn't care. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm still getting shit. So, you know what I mean? Like magic being or not, I'm still getting, okay, I'll just do what my mom says so she can get me shit instead of, having to kiss up to some fucking fictional character.
Well,
but I think it truly helps, like, but I don't know what, and again, I don't know what they're running from, but to just, because like you and I would assume we're both voting Joe Biden. I don't know if you're an RFK Jr. guy or not. But.
He's got some things I like. He says some things I like.
But like I will be happy if Joe Biden wins, not because I'm a fan of Joe Biden himself, but just because I think he's probably going to do what's best for our country right now. That's it.
I think he would bring in competent people that are trying to do the best for the country.
Right.
Because it's not the president you're electing their administration.
You're electing their administration, it's so weird that the Trumpers, they're electing one dude. They're going after that one guy who it's a popularity. It's insane. And that's why it's like, oh, they try to just, now all they do is just try to, everything they do is like, oh, I know you are, but what am I? Like, that's it. There's no, you point out how wrong they are. You point out, oh, I know you are, but what am I? Okay. Well, it's so fucking weird.
I know. It's an awful time.
Just lock this motherfucker.
I was talking that earlier. I was like, I can't wait for this period in time to be over.
What did you text me? What did you miss?
Oh, I missed thinking that Mitt Romney was a bad guy. Like a piece of shit. Like he may be sort of a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit, but
he's a piece of shit in the way of like a politician's a piece of shit, not an evil fuck that wants to destroy everything
just to save their own skin,
just to save their own ass. Like I miss the days of going, fucking Mitt Romney. How could you vote for that guy?
Remember how do you remember how bummed out? I didn't know you then, but I can imagine you were probably as bummed as I was when Bush beat Gore.
Yeah, and even at that time, I didn't care about politics at that point and when Bush won, I was like, really, that guy? Because I remember seeing clips of like being a moron when he got taught at press conferences and all that stuff. Like, I remember not being even angry. I figured Gore was going to win because the country had been
not
very
so bad.
successful.
Yeah,
not so bad under Clinton. He'd gotten all the And then I just thought, well, Gore will probably win because he's been a good president, and now they'll just carry it over. And then when Bush won, I'm like, that guy?
That guy.
But I wasn't like angry, like, I can't believe I'm fucking with that guy. I was just like, that guy?
Right.
Why?
I was bummed. I was bummed because I lived in Texas.
Yeah, you probably knew
how
him
bad
better.
He was as a governor.
Yeah,
and I had seen how poor and fucking. I remember. Yeah, I probably have told this story here before, but when he owned the Texas Rangers, George W. So you can pinpoint. Jose Canseco said he introduced steroids into baseball when he was a Texas Ranger. That was when Bush was the owner. So you can say what ruined baseball for almost a decade happened under his watch. So that's and then when he owned the Rangers, I remember I wasn't that into baseball, but so my friends were, my cousin definitely was, and they would always tell me, right? And that we had this guy in our farm system who was just a fucking monster, right? Just a monster. And Bush, his numbers were just like, holy shit, wait till this guy gets called up. His numbers were just incredible. And I remember Bush threw him into a trade. Again, it happened under his watch, right? He wasn't the GM, but he was the owner. And it happened, he okayed it. And he threw this in as like and a trade that brought us back nothing for the Rangers, right? And this guy wasn't even the centerpiece. It's like, yeah, we'll give you him too. It was Sammy fucking Sosa. Like, it's just, so I was already down. Like, this guy traded Sosa for nothing. Like,
he didn't even like want to be president. He was just trying to get the approval of his dad. He was just trying to be like, "Hey, Dad, look what I can do."
Yep, look,
because he was the fuck up Bush.
He was, and
then he wanted, and he just wanted to win 2 terms. So he'd be like, "Look, I won 2 terms, and my dad couldn't win 2 terms."
It's fucking insane.
And that's all Trump is. He just wants the fucking approval from his dead parents and don't give a fuck about him.
But it's
never
weird
did.
Never did. But it is weird, like you said, like as awful as Bush was, and he was a war criminal.
Yeah.
Give me
that was
him
mostly
over Trump.
Cheney. That was mostly Cheney pulling the strings behind him.
But
Bush
give me both of them over Trump.
Bush had no fucking clue what he was
doing. Wouldn't you take both over Trump right now?
I think they both were.
Damn.
I think even Cheney wanted to manipulate things his way, but he wanted to under the guise of having the Constitution intact.
Like if Cheney lost an election, I think it would have been like, oh well, fuck, maybe next time.
He just wanted a more conservative country.
Yes.
A more war profiting country. But like Trump just wants everyone. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He just wants everyone to take a knee to him.
All the time. Yep.
And tell him how great he is.
God. It's fucking, but yeah, that's just, you make your whole identity hating Trump. Okay. Yeah. With your fucking, with your avatar of Trump is like fucking Lou Ferrigno's body with a fucking idiot. With it riding an eagle. Fuck yourself.
Dipshits.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Well, how about that for the top 40 ranked nerd podcast?
Look at this.
20 minutes
went
of
all nerd today. We went all nerd today. This was as nerdy as we get. My God. See, that's the thing. Ramble Radio can go anywhere. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. Now,
tune in on Wednesday for X-Men 97 talk.
Ooh, well, Friday.
Or Friday.
Friday's Ramble Radio will be all. I will say I started to watch the Fallout show. It's so fucking good.
Is it good?
Oh my God, it's so fucking good. Yeah, Andrea and I are fine. I would binge the whole thing, but Andrea wants to watch it too, so kind of got to go on her schedule. You know what I mean? So I'm, there's 8 episodes. We're through 5, and it's And what I like about it, at first I thought, oh, they just do like an adaptation, but this is not. This is like. It's its own. They said it exists alongside the games in that universe. So I'm hoping for some Easter eggs. There's already been a bunch.
There's got to be. There's got to be Easter eggs.
There's a ton, and they're great. And I just keep hoping for more every episode. But
more than X-Men 97, because literally X-Men 97, every frame you can go, oh my God,
oh my God, oh my God. No, it ain't like that. It ain't like X-Men 97 is like literally. It's like, oh, what the fuck? Oh my God, what the fuck? Oh my Oh man, it's. One thing X-Men 97 has opened my eyes to. Did not know Wolverine was that into basketball.
Fucking dude can hoop it up.
He's playing basketball every time they're at the X Mansion.
He's fucking hooping, man.
He's JJ Barea out there, fucking Spud Webb.
That fucking 5'3" or whatever he is.
It's insane. I did not know Wolverine was that avid of a basketball player. It's like, really? Huge. Does he really hoop that much? Holy shit.
I hope by the end of this series we at least get a full-on game. Like at least I want to see. 3.
Yes, like let's just see. And by the way, can I say I think Andrea is asleep right now because she had a procedure this morning trying to have a kid. So we're doing some fertility stuff. So procedure
the surrogate came in and pounded her hard.
She got railed by about 8 or 9 dudes, all jizzed in her. And so she's taking a nap.
Now, do you watch that happen or you just sit in your room?
She doesn't let me. I have to I'm like William H. Macy in Boogie Nights. I'm just William H. Macy's character in Boogie Nights listening to it.
She yells at you when you come in.
Is that the saddest character in movie history was William H. Macy in Boogie Nights? I mean, man.
It has to be. It has to be. Well, I mean, he married a porn star, so.
Right.
You kind of, if you didn't marry a porn star and that was happening, then it's not as sad, I guess.
It's sadder because I think he thought it would be different.
But how did he think?
You could just tell. You could just tell, especially with the way it all ended.
Yeah,
he was not okay with things.
Well, the best was when they were just banging on the ground and the people are standing around watching. Macy walks over to see what they're doing, and his wife's just getting plowed there on the driveway.
So that's all that being said. To say, I think Andrea's taking a nap from her.
Okay.
From her session.
Rough morning.
Her session this morning. And
that's weird that she doesn't even she does it at the apartment.
It hurts. It hurts.
That's got to be rough. In your
right
bed.
where I'm sitting, Eddie.
Right
where I'm sitting. Right in my side of the office. But yeah, thank God for noise canceling headphones. That's all.
Right.
That's it. That's
no way through this.
But since she's asleep, I think I can say this. I'm just gonna. Can I put this out there?
Okay.
Not that comic book couldn't.
Yeah.
But goddamn, can Cartoon Rogue have it?
Dude, she could have had it back in '97 during the original run.
Yes. I forgot how fucking fine Cartoon Rogue was in this.
Everything about Cartoon Rogue is it took me a while. It took me a while to watch Cartoon Rogue again, and I kept having flashbacks of the Fox Films Rogue of what's her face,
Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin was like, no.
She's like a fucking 8-year-old. Because
it took me forever to get that vision of Rogue out of my head, and then this is Rogue. This is Rogue.
Thank God Rogue could have it again. You know what I mean?
She can have all of it. She can have all of it, and skin to skin.
Risk that shit 24/7. Steal all.
No,
I
don't understand. Like her and Gambit want to get together, and she can't touch him. Right. But can't she just put on one of those collars?
They probably do. It's probably how they boink.
And they boink? Well, the whole thing was they can't ever touch. I can't touch you.
Yeah, but I bet they slap that collar on, baby, and get that shit, right?
Let's get some. Let me get some of that shit.
Let me get some of that. They
put that collar on and get some of that shit.
So, how lucky is Magneto that his powers are like, nope, you're negated here, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Whew.
And he's the only one that can get it, so she's got it all pent up for everybody. Only have one.
It's just imagine those nights. Imagine those nights, Meg. Shit. In honor of the retired Vern Lundquist. Speaking of, but before we go to our contractual obligations, how MAGA is Jim Nance? Do you think, if you had to go scale of 1 to 10, what do you?
He was probably at the courthouse yesterday.
Do you think he made a phone call to Georgia?
In disguise.
Do you think Jim Nance made a phone? Look,
hey, Jim Nance here.
Jim Nance here. We're just going to need 11,000 votes, pal.
We just need 11,000 more than we need.
11,000 more than we got. That's all. That's all we need.
That's all we need. Jim Nance. How about that? He doesn't even have a regular cell phone. He just has headphones with the. That's how he makes his phone calls.
But it has to be MAGA. There's no question in your mind.
How about that?
No question in your mind, Jim Nance.
98% positive.
It has to be.
How about that?
Well, as great as this was, Eddie.
Skeletor. Jerry and I were just talking about how Rogue from X-Men 97 can have it.
Ooh.
All of it.
Yep.
Is there anyone there on Eternia outside of who we know you're going to say that can have it?
Like a cartoon character, Eddie?
Yeah, like a cartoon character. Outside of He-Man's mother's vagina. Is there anyone else on Eternia that can have it?
Eddie, that's a wonderful question, and I'm glad that you've asked me that. By the way, I have to say, He-Man's mother's vagina is not an attractive place for the big S. Let's just say that. Because she's a fucking... Now, to be honest, it was actually a cartoon from America that got me a little hot under the collar. And it was... oh, God, the one that always looks upset. I think that's his name. He has, there's 6 others, and they help a woman beat an evil queen, and they work in a mine, and they have a hi-ho song, I think.
Snow White?
Yeah, that's it. But the one who's always upset. The bearded lady.
Grumpy?
That's the one, yes. Oh, God. Grumpy? Yes. I would fuck the shit out of Grumpy. You bring him over to Eternia, he's going to be riding, the Grumpy's going to ride my cock until he's happy. I would fuck the shit out of Grumpy. I jerk off every time I see that. Every time Grumpy comes out, I'm just like, ah! It's amazing. I'll tell all my people, get the fuck out of here. I'm jerking off. It's Grumpy. And a lot of jizz comes out of me when I watch him. Let me tell you that. Oh, boy. More jizz than I normally produce. And, my jizz is very valuable commodity here, and I don't want it ever falling into the wrong hands. So when I come, I have to bury my jizz in a place no one will ever be able to seek it out or even find it. And that's He-Man's mother's pussy, bringing it back. You didn't know it was going to happen. There it is.
Grumpy. The dwarf Grumpy.
Grumpy. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Cinesnob?
Cinesnob. Let's get him on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. That'd be great.
I forgot. No, we don't have these creatures here. Although, it's odd because one of my buddies looks like a massive version of that creature. But Stinkor, you know who Stinkor is?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
There's a movie, I think by the same people that made Snow White, about a four-legged, adorable little creature, and he's got a little friend. Tiny. Looks a lot like Stinkor. I'd fuck the shit out of that, too.
Okay. He's talking about Flower, the skunk from Bambi.
Okay. I've never even...
Like, that's...
God. Like a skunk and a dwarf. And Grumpy.
I think he wants to fuck Flower. I think that was the name of the skunk.
Anyway, 5 days a week, patreon.com, The Ralph Report, Tuesdays, Fridays, Ramble Radio, Wednesdays, Ramble Proper, and then my new podcast with Jen Sturger, Not Today, anywhere you get your podcasts on Friday.
It is great.
There's also a show, Buck Rogers, that there's like a robot thing. Oh, God, would I fuck that?
Tweety? Tweety?
Tweety, I think.
I don't think you can fuck Tweety.
I'll find a way.
You can find me in the same Ramble locations. You can find Eddie and Cody. I'm also streaming games every night. Twitch, at Retro Rocha, Kick, Retro Rocha, and just my name on YouTube. Find us. Love us. Thank you for tuning in. 5-star rating. Positive text review. Subscribe to the Ramble. We'll see you tomorrow for a Ramble proper. Until then, we love you guys. Stay safe, everybody. Take care.